Okay. Even after doing that other video, this question is still super tough on so many levels. Here we go. First of all, I will only be doing part A in this video for certain. It's enough for like 6 questions. Okay, so I'm solving from 0 to 2 pi. Here's what I do. I take 2 sine secant x. Now, okay, first of all, this question is written wrong. I friggin' hope. Otherwise, it's even beyond me. Not to say that's anything uber, but it's beyond grade 12. This must have been sine x secant x minus 2 root 3 sine x equals 0. Otherwise, it's like, yeah, beyond what we need to know how to do. Because that would mean that the secant is inside the sine. So secant x is the angle inside sine, which is crazy. Okay, so there must have been an x in there. Now, here's what we have to do still, though. We take 2 sine, the secant x is, well, x. Now, the secant x is 1 over cos x. You need to know those reciprocal identities. Minus 2 root 3 sine x equals 0. Okay, now, I don't like cos on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this entire thing and I'm going to multiply it by cos x. So multiply this by cos x, this term by cos x, this term by cos x. So this term, well, the cos x goes away. So when I multiply it into there, it goes away. When I multiply it into here, I get a cos x. When I multiply it into here, it stays 0. So I end up getting 2 sine x minus 2 root 3 sine x cos x equals 0. Now, the first time I tried to solve this problem, I looked at this 2 sine x cos x and went, ooh, I can use a double angle formula and turn it into sine 2x. It didn't help. Here's what you have to do. Take the 2 sine x and actually factor it out. Oh yeah, there's factoring involved here. So 2 times sine x, that gets factored out. And that leaves us with 1 minus root 3 cos x equals 0. Okay, remember factoring? Let's take it way back here. If I have x minus 3 and x plus 4, and if that equals 0, I know that my x values to make this equal to 0 are what makes the bracket equal 0. Sorry, that should be a 0, not a 6. So 3 and negative 4 are my answers. Now, back to this one. What makes these brackets equal 0? First of all, the easy one is if sine x equals 0, well, what are my values of x? X could be, well, think about this thing. When sine is 0 is down here. It starts at 0. So at 0, then it goes up to 1, then it comes down to 0 again. So that's at pi. So x could be equal to pi. That's one of my answers. If it's down here, it's at negative 1. If it goes over here, it's at 0 again. So 0 and 2 pi here are also answers for when sine x is equal to 0. But because it says up here that it has to be greater than 0 and less than 2 pi, 0 and 2 pi don't count as answers. If this had have been less than equal to and less than equal to, I would have got 0, pi, and 2 pi all as answers. Hope that makes sense. There's only one of your answers for x. When x is pi, this will go to 0. Because I don't give a rat's what this goes to. If this bracket goes to 0, the whole thing goes to 0. So x of pi will satisfy this equation. Now, solve the other one. When 1 minus root 3 cos x equals 0, so when this bracket goes to 0 is, well, bring the root 3 cos x to the other side, I get 1, and then divide by root 3, so I get 1 over root 3 equals cos x. Now, if you didn't see what the heck I just did there, I took this, moved it to the other side, with the sign, it became positive, I divided both sides by root 3, and I get to this line. Wanted to save some space there. When does cos x equal root 3? Well, when x is equal to what? 1 over root 3. What the hell? Oh, was I not supposed to take that out? I'm pausing. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe this was supposed to go to tan. I think that the question might have been copied down wrong. But anyways, if you can't solve for an exact answer, then don't. How do I actually solve for x? Well, what I do here, is I take the cos inverse of 1 over root 3, and it'll give me a decimal. So the x acute, which is what it solves for, and then I get my multiple answers, is 0.96. Oh my god. This question is fudged up. Just about swore again. Frig. Okay, so 0.96 is the acute, and that is in the first quadrant. How do I know that? Because this is pi by 2. What's pi? Well, pi is 3.14. So if I'm looking at decimal numbers, this is 3.14 divided by 2, which is 1.59 or something like that. So 0.96 is less than that. If that's one of my answers, the other answer is down here, which is 0.96 away from 2 pi, which is 6.28. So if I take that and subtract it, man, this question is bonkers. Woo! If I take that and subtract it, so if I take 6.28 and I subtract 0.96, I get 5.32. So those are my two answers. That's cos positive, that's cos positive. Both are equal to 1 over root 3. When I take those two things, holy shat. So that's an answer, that's an answer, that's an answer. There's 3 answers for this one question. I hope that question was written down wrong, because that is crazy.